Every year in the first days of January, the amount reaching your account changes by itself. Nobody rings you to ask permission. The letter explaining it turns up later, and by then the money is already moved. The number behind that change is being put together right now while you are watching this. The count runs on 3 months of price figures, and September is the last one. That is the first of 3 pieces of news I have for you today. The other 2 are already inside your own paperwork, and each one decides how much that January change means for you. Everything on this channel comes down to the same job. I read what the VA and the government publish, and I say it the way a neighbor would say it over a fence. Number 3 is the piece nobody sits a veteran down and explains. It pays at the top rate without the top rating, and I will get to it once the other 2 are out of the way. Start with the raise because the clock on it runs out first. Your compensation moves when living costs rise. The measurement behind it is an index of prices, and the Bureau of Labor Statistics publishes a new reading every month. Social Security leans on that index too, and your VA payment follows the same law. Here's the part worth a minute of your time. The comparison is not made across a whole calendar year. Only 1/4 of the year goes into it, and that quarter closes when this month closes. Money questions deserve a document rather than a voice, so let the page say it instead of me. What you are looking at is the government's own explanation of how the increase gets calculated, published by the Social Security Administration. Look at the paragraph sitting in the middle of the screen. An increase effective for December is equal to the rise in that price index across one measurement. The average for the third quarter of one year set against the average for the third quarter of the next. Third quarter is July, August, and what is left of September. 2 of those readings are already published, and the last one is being collected around you at the shops this month. After that, the arithmetic is finished. The figure comes out in October, about 8 weeks from today. It applies from the 1st of December, and it shows up in the first payment of January. Now, the amounts it gets applied to, because a percentage on its own means nothing until it sits on top of a real number. The VA rate tables in force since the 1st of December last year answer that. A veteran alone at the 100% rating draws $3,938.58 every month. At 70% alone, the figure is $1,808.45. Down at 10%, the figure is $180.42. Put a number on what a raise looks like on those VA tables. Last winter, the increase came out at 2.8%, which moved the 100% rate by about $110 a month. Down at 10%, the same percentage moved the payment by $5. Whatever comes out in October carries one effective date for everybody, the 1st of December. Here is why any of that matters in September instead of December. The increase is a percentage, and a percentage is applied to whatever your rate happens to be at the time. A bigger base takes a bigger raise every year for the rest of your life. The same percentage on a $4,000 payment puts more than twice as much in your pocket as it does on an $1,800 one, which brings me straight to the second piece of news because it raises the base. Number 2 has no connection to your health, your examination, or your rating percentage. It has to do with who lives in your house. Once your combined rating reaches 30%, the VA pays more when there is family depending on you. Below 30%, it makes no difference at all. Here's that page. The page in front of you is the VA instruction for adding a dependent. The box on the screen sets out both conditions. You have to be eligible for disability compensation with a combined rating of at least 30%. Underneath it, one sentence does the real work. Adding a dependent may make you eligible to receive a higher compensation payment. Who counts is listed right below it. A spouse, an unmarried child under 18 or under 23 if they are still in a school program. A parent if you are directly caring for them and their income and savings sit below a set line. Put money against that. A veteran alone at the 100% rating draws $3,938. The same veteran with a spouse on the award draws $4,158.17. The gap is $219 a month, which comes to about $2,600 over a year for a form. A child over 18 who is still at school adds $211 a month at that rating. If your wife needs daily help herself and qualifies for aid and attendance, that is another $201 on top. Now the date, because the date is where the real money is won or lost. Federal regulation settles that in one short line. Tell the VA within 1 year of the wedding or within 1 year of the birth. And the extra money runs from the day of the event itself. Let that year go by, and it starts from the day the VA hears about it. Everything in between quietly belongs to nobody. I see the same situations over and over. A man was rated years ago and married after that, and the award still says he lives alone. A child turned 18 and dropped off the award while sitting in a college classroom because the school form never went in. An elderly mother moved into the back bedroom, and nobody thought of her as a dependent at all. The paperwork is smaller than most men expect. Adding a wife, a child, or a parent runs on one form, and the VA numbers it 21-686C. If your child is over 18 and still studying, the school sends its part on form 21-674, and that one goes back in every year. Both can go in online through the VA website or on paper if you would rather hold something in your hand. Before you fill in anything, log in at the VA website and open the page listing your dependents. Whoever the VA thinks lives with you sits on that one screen, and plenty of men find it 10 years out of date. What the VA asks for alongside them is ordinary household paperwork. Find the marriage certificate for a wife, the birth certificate for a child, and for a parent, write down what they live on and what they own. If you want to hear about these before they cost you a year, subscribe here and stay with me. That is all the asking I do here, and your award letter is the only homework. Number 3 pays the most of the 3 and gets asked about the least. Read this one twice if you have ever been told you are not sick enough for a full rating. Some veterans draw the full $3,938, while the rating on their letter says 70 or 60. That is not a glitch in the system, and it is not a rumor from the hospital parking lot. The thing has a name, and the VA prints that name on its own website. Anybody can open the page where this is set out, so here is that page. The program is called Individual Unemployability. Read the sentence under the heading. It says you may be able to get compensation at the same level as a veteran who holds a 100% disability rating. The conditions come next, and they are narrower than the first 2 pieces of news. You cannot keep a job that supports you financially because of a disability the VA has already connected to your service. Odd jobs do not count as a job here. On top of that, one of 2 things has to be true about your file. Either you hold a single service connected disability rated at 60% or more, or you hold two or more of them with at least one at 40% or more, and a combined rating of 70 or more. Then comes the line that surprises men the most, and the VA answers it on that same page. Your disability rating on paper does not move at all, and only the payment changes. Three objections come up every time this subject is raised. The first one is work. Men tell me they still do a few hours here and there, so none of this can apply to them. The VA draws a line between real employment and marginal work, and the application asks about that directly. The second one is fear, the same fear that keeps men from filing anything at all. Asking for unemployability is not the same as putting your whole file back on the table. The third one is paperwork. The application is Form 21-8940, and a second form, 4192, goes to your last employer. A service officer fills these in with veterans every week of the year. Put money against this one as well. 70% veteran alone is $1,808 a month. Paid at the 100% level alone, that becomes $3,938. The difference is over $2,100 a month on the rating he already holds for the disabilities already in his file. Run all three through one man's file, because that is where this stops being abstract. He holds 70%, granted years ago, and he lives alone on the award because nobody ever added his wife. Alone at 70, he draws $1,808. Put his wife where she belongs, and the same 70% pays $1,961. Now suppose the knees and the lungs ended his working life, and the VA grants unemployability on top. That file with the rating on it untouched pays $4,158 a month. Then the winter increase lands on the larger figure rather than the smaller one. Write those three form numbers on a scrap of paper by the telephone tonight. The family form is 21-686C. A child at school needs the 674. Unemployability runs on 8940. So there are your three, and they stack in a particular order. The raise is being counted this month, and you cannot influence it. What you can influence is the number it lands on. Every dependent who belongs on your VA award raises that number before December, and a wife alone is worth $219 a month at the top rate. Unemployability, where it applies, raises it further. Three things are worth half an hour this week. First, pull out your decision letter and read the combined rating on it. 30% is the line where family money starts, and plenty of men are sitting one step under it without knowing. Second, look at who is listed on your award as a dependent. Compare that list with the people actually in your life this year. A wife, a parent in the spare room, a son or daughter still at school after 18. Third, if work stopped because of the condition the VA already accepted, ask for individual unemployability by name. The wording matters here because an increase and unemployability travel as two different applications. None of that costs money to do. A service officer at the American Legion, the DAV, or the VFW will sit with you and file it for nothing. Those men and women do this work all day long because the same questions turn up under every video. I put the whole thing in writing. The Unclaimed Money Playbook for Veterans covers all three, the current rates, and the form that goes with each one. The link sits in the description, and from an armchair, you can point your phone at the square on the screen and reach the same page. There is a limit to what I can do from here. Everything I have gone through today comes off government pages that are open to you tonight, and none of it is advice aimed at you personally because we have never met. Your file has details in it that no video can see. Take these three straight to the VA or to a service officer who charges nothing, and let them read your own paperwork. The raise is decided for you. The other two are decided by you, and this month is the cheapest time to deal with them. Thanks for spending this time with me. Go and read your award letter tonight before the good intentions wear off. Sonny Boone.